Cover 2. I was about to say Blaine and Zach is in. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons is back. 615-737-1045. We're powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. And then, of course, the F&M Bank Chat on Zone TV, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live. And Blaine.
Wait, before we get started, though, I got another announcement because I got to make sure I check out my new podcast, man. Sports Performance with me, Blaine Bishop, of course. The podcast goes in-depth conversation with the experts. Not me. I'm not an expert, but I am expert at football, but not rehab and training, which TOA is. So go check it out. The next episode is coming up real quick, so go check it out on YouTube.
Shameless self-promotion. I love it.
That's hard for me to do.
We were talking about I've been talking about Chad Brinker, and I've been talking about the message in the offseason and how we may have all been victims of, positivity. Mm-hmm. And, kind of like the power of positivity, pretty much. And we all got trapped. But, Chad Brinker and Rand Carthon tried to tell us that this was, in Rand Carthon's word, he used the term reset numerous times in an interview with the Official Titans podcast. So he deemed this a reset. Over here with Chad Brinker, he talked about resetting and building from the ground up the analytics department, but he also talked about having, hope and patience. But I wanted to, when I went back and found this podcast on the Official Titans podcast back in February, I believe 2nd, Brinker talked about the quickest way to be a competitive team, and I thought that his answers were very interesting and relatable to how the Tennessee Titans approached this offseason and what we see from the Tennessee Titans on the field. Here's Chad Brinker on the Official Titans podcast.
This league is just designed to pull everybody toward mediocrity. It's a reset every year. But I do believe if you have a good process, if you have a really good process, especially a scouting process, that you have a chance. If you have the quarterback, you have a chance. Ron Wolf used to say this in Green Bay. I've heard it. It's been ingrained in me from day one, is if you don't have a quarterback, a high-level one, forget about it. Don't make any plans that you're going to the Super Bowl anytime soon. So that's just the way I was trained. I know it's been done with average to above average quarterbacks. If you have a 85 Bears defense or the Baltimore Ravens defense when they want it, you can do it. And Reggie McKenzie, who I worked with as well, he's one of my mentors in this business. I remember he said, Chad, when you take over an organization, you got to get a winner at quarterback, no doubt. But the fastest way to get competitive as quickly as possible is build a dominant defense.
And that's what the Tennessee Titans have done. Now, it was very interesting in there. I mean, he kind of used the word reset, but that was really more about how every year you kind of have to reset your team in some form or fashion because of injuries, free agency, the draft, and stuff like that. But he said that the league is designed to pull everybody towards mediocrity, which I think is true. Parity. Absolutely. We talk about parity all the time as another word for mediocrity. There's just
that keeps all the fans interested.
Yeah,
that's why they do that, and that's why they have everything set up the way it is, where you draft high when you were bad the year before and everything else. So yeah, that's how you do the cha-ching, the money making machine right there.
And he talked about the good process, the scouting process. I think the scouting process has changed and shifted, has kind of improved. Analytics have been added. I think this draft class is good proof of the process is at least working right now, and he also talked about if you have a quarterback, you have a chance. If you don't have a quarterback, a high-level quarterback, forget about it. And that's where the Tennessee Titans kind of find themselves right now, is that they, right now, for all the evidence provided to us, do not have a high-level quarterback. So I don't think they went in thinking they have a high-level quarterback. I think they went in to build around a young quarterback to evaluate him. But he also talked about you can take over an organization, but the fastest way to get competitive as quickly as possible is build a dominant defense. And this defense has been, for the most part, the reason why this team has even looked remotely competitive in these games, even if the offense hasn't. So I just think that's very interesting about how he talked about ahead of time, talking about the way to build this team.
Well, there's some parts of me. I think I would say, as the league has changed a little bit, I don't know about the dominant defense part of that. Now, I think what I would say is this has become an offensive-driven league where you can have a solid defense and win championships today. Now, in my era, of course, I completely agree with that. But as this league continues to evolve, the way the rules are set, you want kind of get your pass rushers, get you some, good, solid secondary players. Doesn't have to be great. And you got this bend, don't break, and don't give them touchdowns and don't give explosive plays. You can still win this game because you know they're going to throw the ball and you're going to get after the quarterback. So I think that's kind of changed a little bit. You can have a middle of the road, which I do think this is middle of the road defense. I know the numbers don't say that, but that's what I believe.
Do you still think it's a top 10 defense? Because we kind of both had said that at the beginning.
15. I never bought in. First of all, they don't have an elite pass rusher. Mm-hmm. So and then you don't know where the linebacker situation was at, and then. In the secondary, you could say Snead on a good day is an elite player, but other than that, they're Hooker's a good starter, really good, borderline maybe Pro Bowl guy, but I just don't view this as an elite defense. What I view it as is a really good defense where the coaches understand their scheme and their system, and they put the right pieces and puzzles together to have success. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like if you're an elite defense, what happened in the second half never should happen. Not like that.
Yeah.
Like it should have been a continuous thing throughout the game. You could just say they were better than us today. Just to have an explosion like that in a half, well,
how much of that is, you have Jarvis Brownlee and Darrell Baker Jr. out there, a fifth-round rookie. No offense to Jarvis Brownlee Jr. I think he's a great
contributor.
But then Darrell Baker,
but why didn't it happen in the first half?
Yep.
So at the same time, I just, that's why sometimes I don't go all in. There's a eyeball test that you got to have too. You don't have to play in the league to have an eyeball test.
Yeah.
And so when I watch them, I don't fear any player or anything that they do,
including Big Jeff.
Right at this time with the UCLL injury. Yeah. So there's nobody I fear. So to me, when you don't have that, then you aren't an elite defense. Now you could be a really good defense, and the pieces to the puzzles all work, and you execute and do your job, and you're open field tackling. You make plays when you can. I mean, like they just got their first interception 2 games ago. I mean, so so it's so I don't know if that's still the same principles today. Now, we could say the 49ers have a good defense. I'm trying to think of the Eagles. The Chiefs' defense gets better as they go along.
I don't know. They're probably the only reason they're really 5-0 right now.
Right now is because of Spags in the defense, who was my safeties coach at Philly.
Yeah.
So I have a good relationship with him. He's fabulous. He's a great guy. And he's turned into something really, as a defensive coordinator, really good. So I don't know. Do you think you have to have an elite defense?
I think if you don't have,
I think Ray Lewis.
I think when you have an offense like the Titans, if you're looking to be competitive, you have to have a very good defense.
Oh,
that's
yes.
That's where
do
I'm
you
at
think
right
this
now.
offense can win a Super Bowl?
This offense?
He was talking about how you could win a championship, and that's what I'm saying. In totality, you can have a really good defense.
Well, he said be competitive. That's what he said.
Well,
so,
okay.
And
competitive, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that defense has kind of kept them, been the reason why they've been competitive
except
in these
for the
games.
Green Bay in this last game, no doubt.
For sure. When we come back, we'll talk more about what Chad Brinker had to say. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The